In the brief, uncertain lives of mortals, few forces are as enigmatic or as feared as the Daedric Princes. They are viewed as both gods and monsters, creators and destroyers, beings whose influence can shape the fate of empires and the destiny of mortals. But when considering these incomprehensible powers, one question always lingers in the mind. Who is the most powerful of them all? But power is not an easy thing to define. It can be the raw strength to destroy, the cunning to manipulate, or the vision to shape the future. It can be subtle, like a whisper that changes the course of history, or devastating, like the fall of a hammer that shatters an empire. And, in the realms of Oblivion, where the rules of reality twist and bend, power takes on forms our mortal minds can scarcely comprehend. Today, we will attempt to unravel this mystery by examining 5 Daedric Princes, each with their own claim to supremacy. By considering their spheres, their deeds, and their legacies, we'll seek to understand what it means to wield true power in the plains of Oblivion. But be warned, the answer may not be as simple as it seems on the surface. Perhaps the most obvious candidate is the Lord of Destruction, Mehrunes Dagon. He is the embodiment of raw, unrelenting power, chaos given form. He is the Daedric Prince of Destruction, Darkness, and Revolution. Where other princes shape events from behind the scenes, Dagon enforces his will through sheer force. His purpose is clear: to unmake Nirn and to reforge it in his own image. To some, he is a nightmare, to others, a necessary force of renewal. Either way, there is no ignoring the fiery shadow he casts over the history of Tamriel. Dagon's sphere encompasses everything from natural disasters to war and ambition. Wherever destruction reigns, his influence can be felt. Yet, this chaos is not mindless, it is purposeful, driven by an insatiable ambition to merge the realms of Oblivion and Nirn. This ultimate goal, the blending of two realities, would not just alter the world, but annihilate the boundaries that define existence itself. It is a vision as terrifying as it is awe-inspiring, and it underscores the sheer scale of his power. His feats stand as monuments to his destructive potential. The Oblivion Crisis remains the most infamous example of his might. By shattering the barriers between Oblivion and Nirn, Dagon unleashed his Daedric legions upon Tamriel, plunging the Empire into chaos. Cities burned, countless lives were lost, and the world trembled beneath his wrath. Even after the crisis was averted, the scars he left on the mortal plane are still visible, as are the scars he left on the psyche of Tamriel. Dagon's invasion has led to widespread hate and fear of the Daedra, with groups such as the Vigilants of Stendarr dedicating themselves to rooting out Daedra worship. Unlike many princes, Mehrunes Dagon has the rare ability to manifest physically on Nirn. During the Oblivion Crisis, he did just that, towering above mortals as an unstoppable force of destruction. It was only through Martin Septim's sacrifice, which saw him transformed into an avatar of Akatosh, that the Prince of Destruction could be halted. Yet, for all his power, one must ask, is destruction alone the ultimate measure of strength? Dagon's raw might may seem unmatched, but it is also chaotic, unfocused, and often undermined by his inability to sustain his conquests. Few can rival his sheer destructive potential, but is the power to destroy enough to claim the title of the most powerful Daedric Prince? Or is there something greater in the ability to create, to endure, and to shape the world itself? This question brings us to our next candidate, a prince who exerts her power with greater subtlety. Azura is often regarded as the most benevolent of the Daedric princes, but this reputation is only half the story. Her power lies in her duality. She is light and shadow, hope and vengeance, the calm before the storm and the storm itself. To underestimate her is to misunderstand her entirely, for Azura's influence is far-reaching and deeply personal, capable of shaping the very fabric of mortal lives. Her sphere is the domain of dawn and dusk, one that symbolizes transition, the moments between what was and what will be. In this liminal space, Azura's power thrives. She is a prince of prophecy, and her foresight is unparalleled. But Azura does not merely see what is to come, she acts upon it, subtly bending the tides of fate to her will. Nowhere is her influence more profound than with the fate of the Dunmer. Once, they were the golden-skinned Chimera, but when the tribunal betrayed Azura, when they claimed divinity for themselves, the prince's vengeance was swift and eternal. She cursed the Chimera, transforming them into the ashen-skinned Dunmer, a living reminder of both her wrath and her power. This ability to reshape an entire race to reflect her will is a testament to the near unlimited power at Azura's disposal. Her feats speak for themselves. It was Azura who foresaw the rise of Dagoth and the apocalyptic threat he posed to Morrowind. It was she who orchestrated the events that would lead to the rise of the Nerevarine, ensuring her champion would emerge to save her people and restore balance to the land. Yet even here, her motives were not entirely altruistic. Her actions served to restore her worship among the Dunmer, ensuring her place in their hearts for generations to come. Azura's power may not come in the form of apocalyptic destruction or grand displays of might, but her ability to shape the destiny of civilizations and individuals alike speaks to a strength that is both subtle and unrelenting. She is proof that true power does not need to roar. It can whisper, it can shine, and it can linger long after the sun has set. The power of our third candidate speaks for itself. Boethia is the master of schemes, the orchestrator of betrayals, and the champion of ambition. Her power is not defined by brute strength or raw destruction, but by her unparalleled ability to manipulate both mortals and gods. Where others might need legions, Boethia dismantles empires with whispers and reshapes the hearts of civilizations. Her domain is treachery, her weapon cunning, a combination that makes her as unpredictable as she is formidable. Boethia's sphere encompasses deceit, assassination, and rebellion. She is the force that drives the cunning to overthrow the complacent, the spark that ignites revolutions. In her eyes, betrayal is not a weakness, but a virtue, a tool by which the strong cast down the unworthy. Yet, her influence extends beyond individuals to entire societies, where her teachings inspire transformation, often violent, but always profound. Her accomplishments are a testament to her influence. The fall of Trinimac, one of the mightiest of the Aedra, is among her most infamous triumphs. Through deception, Boethia consumed Trinimac, transforming him into the Daedric Prince Malakath, and in turn, cursing his followers to become the Orcs. This singular act of divine sabotage not only humiliated a rival, but altered the course of history for an entire race, creating a legacy of defiance and struggle that persists to this day. Boethia's hand can also be seen in the culture and philosophy of the Dunmer. Her virtues of ambition and competition help shape their identity, inspiring their reverence for the tribunal and their willingness to embrace radical change. It is no exaggeration to say that without Boethia, the Dunmer may never have become the people they are, a society defined by resilience, cunning, and determination. Boethia's power lies in her ability to shape the course of history, changing societies from within, toppling the mighty and empowering the ambitious. And yet we must ask, is this the truest measure of supremacy? To wield a power so subtle, yet so transformative, that it alters the very fabric of civilizations? In Boethia, we see a force that defies convention and thrives on chaos, and in doing so, redefines what it means to wield true power. Few figures in Tamriel's mythos are as fascinating or as contradictory as our next candidate. Sheogorath is the mad god, chaos given form, a being of whimsy, creativity, and insanity in equal measure. But behind the eccentric facade lies a darker truth. Sheogorath was not always the Prince of Madness. Once, he was known as Jiggalag, the Daedric Prince of Order, a force so powerful and unyielding that all the other Daedric princes were forced to unite to bring him down. Together, they cursed him with madness, transforming him into Sheogorath, a manic mockery of his former self. As Sheogorath, his power is as boundless as it is unpredictable. He does not conquer through brute force or even cunning, but through the sheer absurdity of his actions. Within his realm of the Shivering Isles, he bends reality to his will, creating a land where madness reigns supreme. It is a place where all logic crumbles, where the impossible becomes everyday, where mortals are tested in ways they can scarcely comprehend. Sheogorath's influence is not limited to his realm. His chaotic nature ripples into Nirn itself, proving that even a world as structured as Tamriel is not immune to his whims. Yet though his feats often seem nonsensical, they carry an undeniable power. Who but Sheogorath would turn the moon of Bar Dow into a missile, hurling it at Vivec City in a fit of seemingly random destruction? And yet this act, while petty and childish, demonstrates his ability to wield divine power with shocking results. His effect on the lives of mortals is often insidious, touching their minds with madness, warping their reality from within. Mortals who deal with him often lose themselves, not because of any malevolence on Sheogorath's part, but because madness is his nature, and all who step into his world are subject to it. Yet Sheogorath cannot escape his origins. Even the curse of madness could not contain Jiggalag forever. Once every era, Jiggalag has returned during the Grey March, reclaiming his true form and unleashing a wave of destruction on the Shivering Isles. During these times, his power was unrelenting, overwhelming even other Daedric princes who had united against him. His return at the end of the Third Era marked a turning point, as the hero of Kvatch freed him from his curse, allowing Jiggalag and Sheogorath to exist once more as distinct entities. So where does the true power lie? Is it in Sheogorath's ability to warp reality? To impose chaos upon the minds of mortals and the laws of the universe itself? Or is it in Jiggalag's mastery of order, his capacity to bring structure and logic to the infinite chaos of Oblivion? Together, they represent two sides of the same coin, a paradox of extremes that challenges our very understanding of power. There is an old saying that knowledge is power, and who knows more than Hermaeus Mora, the Prince of Forbidden Knowledge? He is unlike any other being in the Daedric pantheon, his power lying in the unseen, the intangible, and the inevitable. His realm of Apocrypha is an infinite library of forbidden secrets, a maze of twisting shelves and tomes that ensnares the curious. To seek Hermaeus Mora's knowledge is to risk losing oneself entirely, to become but a footnote in his endless archives. His dominion is over secrets both mundane and cosmic, truths that can topple empires or unravel the minds of those unworthy to hold them. Mora's influence is insidious, drawing mortals into his web with promises of enlightenment, only to bind them to his will. His manipulation of figures like Merak, the first Dragonborn, is a prime example of how he entangles even the most powerful in his schemes. Those who seek power through him will find that the price of such wisdom is eternal servitude. The Black Books are perhaps Mora's most infamous creations, artifacts of immense power, capable of granting mortals knowledge to reshape reality itself. Yet, these gifts are poisoned chalices. Each book is a tether, binding its reader to Hermaeus Mora, their soul forever marked by his influence. Even the mightiest, like Merak, could not escape his grasp. Merak may have defied the dragon priests and sought to challenge Mora himself, but in the end, he was just a pawn in a game he didn't even know he was playing. Hermaeus Mora's power extends beyond the mortal and even the divine. He exists outside of the constraints of time, observing and influencing events across eras. This temporal omnipresence makes him uniquely powerful. While others are bound to the here and now, Mora's reach spans past, present and future. His influence shapes history in subtle, imperceptible ways, as his knowledge flows through whispers, visions, and the choices of those desperate or foolish enough to bargain with him. Mora has even shown himself capable of overthrowing other Daedric princes. Long ago, he foresaw that his fellow Prince Aethelia would unravel reality due to her altering the fabric of fate. To prevent this eventuality, he performed a ritual that wiped all memory of Aethelia's existence from the minds of his fellow Daedra and mortals alike. Unable or unwilling to destroy his own memories, he sealed them away, damning the prince's name to eternal oblivion. Hermaeus Mora's strength comes not in force, but in inevitability. He cannot be fought in a conventional sense, for his power is woven into the very fabric of knowledge itself. Once his tendrils touch a mind, they never truly release their grip. To know Hermaeus Mora is to be known by him, and to seek his power is to risk becoming another one of his secrets. In truth, we will never know the true extent of his power, as he guards his secrets jealously. But in this humble scholar's opinion, it seems he is certainly the most formidable of all Daedric princes. His power is not overt, it is slow, creeping, and all-encompassing. Can any truly challenge he who knows all? Or is his power, rooted in knowledge and time, simply beyond our reckoning? In the end, power itself is a concept as elusive as it is compelling, taking forms as varied as the Daedric princes themselves. From raw destruction to calculated manipulation, from unyielding order to boundless madness, each of these beings wields a kind of strength that reshapes reality in their image. But we must ask, is power measured by might alone? Or is its truest form found in the ability to inspire, to change, or to know? What do you think? Who do you think is the most powerful of all the princes, and what does that say about the nature of power itself? Feel free to make your case in the comments below. And don't forget to subscribe to the channel if you would like to see more videos on the Elder Scrolls. And until next time, wealth beyond measure.